Hey, good morning, guys. It's Goose here for my Thursday. It's already Thursday, the 27th watch list. Guys, I got a few names that I want to go over and just make a couple quick comments. Ready for a great day ahead of us. Let me just mute my TTN, guys. I want to remind you guys that everything that I'm talking about today is just for informational purposes. I'm just putting this out for you guys. I put out the watch list. Sometimes it's a little easier just to go through it real quick and let you know what I'm seeing. Um, there's a lot out there. So just have in mind, don't get stuck in anything staring, get in the wrong trade. If it's a wrong trade, just kick it and move on. There's a lot to do, a lot to trade, and don't marry one thing where you miss everything else. Again, make sure you guys know to, look at the disclaimer, understand what it is, understand it's all informational purposes, and I'm doing this for you guys, not a buy, sell, or any type of recommendation. Anyway, moving right along, let me just jump right into it. I got only a few names here. I'm trying to keep these a little shorter for us. And I'm going to just jump into AMRN. This is what I'm thinking about. I have a 5 minute up here. Let me drag this over. And what I'm thinking about on AMRN is, as you can see, it had this big, extension, had the big gap up, and I'm starting to think that I might get a backside move on this trade. I don't think it's this giant move I'm looking for. It's still actually a pretty good move, based on where I think it's along at. But my initial thought is any type of push into this previous high of this 14 area, call it. You can see some levels later in the day that tried to push up through 1370 and, kind of came in. You can kind of see the action. I'm hoping for some sort of extension. The day prior was 1460, so it might not stop if it pushes through 14. Might not stop at 1411, but anywhere in the 14s, I might be looking for for a trade there. The other side of this I just want to show you guys is, and this is what I'm looking at is, as these things are starting to sell off, these candles are getting a little bit smaller. You get a lower high here on the daily, and I'm just looking for two things. I'm looking either pushing it here to short, or the second thing is if it wants to break through this 1280 area. That's the other idea that I have. First target, if I do that, is going to be down into that prior low a couple days back, down at this $12 area, and then I'll see if it wants to give a little bit more. But that's kind of my plan, is to watch for a backside and for a short on AMRN today. Nothing to force, but definitely something I'm watching. Next, I'm going to jump into BBBY, and this one is going to be on one of my top watches. Not sure I'm going to get a trade on it, but I do think it's going to be heavy all day. And I think sometimes we pass over these because there's already a gap down. It's like, missed it. Numbers are out. The numbers were horrendous. And, I already have my feeling, on certain retail and stuff like that, but the numbers were just absolutely horrendous. I'm hoping that there's some sort of shove. The areas of interest for me, I had posted on my comments, is first I will watch this pivot that's a little bit low. I'm hoping for a little bit more extension, but I do think it's going to end up making new lows after from what it's done already pre-market. My basic areas are going to be, as you can see, the 50% move is up in that 1720. These are all bounce type ideas, and then 1760. So I'll watch that. You can see a pivot there also right above 1720. That's where I'll really start getting a little bit, heavier into the trade. And as it pushes up on 1760 or 18 and a quarter, you can see there's another pivot up here. But I'm not going to be scared of this trade at all. I'm pretty confident I will have some sort of fade on it today, and then I'll have a pretty decent trade. Even if it washes at the open and I don't get a chance, I'll still look to fade it into potentially this consolidation area that it had pre-market. I just think there's going to be a really non-stressful trade on this, and I think sometimes we overlook them because they're already down a lot. But the reality is that doesn't mean it can't come lower. And I've seen it time and time again, especially as coverage happens and people downgrade it and things like that. So I'll be looking for all those type of signals for me. But I'm pretty confident in this one, and I'll be looking at the BBBY for a fade today for sure. Just got to check out the entries after the open. CMTL was another one I want to look at. Let me see what it's been doing over the last half hour or so. So this is actually an interesting one because it's a lighter volume name. Please have that in mind. I think it traded 500,000 shares yesterday, but this is what I was looking at. This shove maybe up into earnings. Stock did this drop. I actually looked into the numbers, and maybe I'm missing something, but I don't think so. But they actually look pretty good to me. And I think this is just kind of a sell the news type thing. And when it's coming down into areas of the daily that interest me, that's what kind of perked my eye. So two things. Obviously, I had this crazy wash, and I don't even know that it's going to get down there. I said if it got down in that 30 area, I'd definitely be looking at a long there, but I'm not so sure it's going to get there. And where I came up with 33, what I posted is just this pre-market action. I do think the numbers were good, and I think this can do a nice little turn for me. So I'll have no problem if it wants to start clearing that level for a push back up into that 35 area. Entry is going to be key. It's a lighter name. I'll size myself accordingly. But again, I do think it might be a good trade for me, so I'm still going to look at it and size accordingly, you know, and I'll take the couple bucks if I get it out of it. So that's what I'm looking for on CMTL. But I do like CMTL, and I'll look to start along after the open on that using a couple guides, which I'll discuss in the room. Listen, a couple other little things is there's plenty other things on watch, some low floaters. I just want you guys to recognize, you know, the time that we're in. I'll talk a little bit more about it in the room, but listen, you're seeing the low floats, you know, the SAEXs, you know, what was it, ONTX yesterday. There's a couple other low floaters, you know, or recent reverse splits, I guess is better to say. You know, CDTI, all these other ones coming up on the scanner, just a couple things. Just know that they're going to get, you know, blasted up on chat rooms and things like that because that's the in thing right now. So make sure your entries, if you're playing those, are really good on these. Don't you know, FOMO it and chase it up when you start seeing it hit all the, you know, relative volume scans and things like that. Be patient with it, you know, or find them yourself, find a good entry based on the daily and trade it that way. I think that's how you got to trade these things, and they are rotating and going in from one thing to the other. IGC, I also want to talk about, you know, IGC is very interesting. Like I definitely think there's going to be a fade in this, but just recognize the levels. It soaked up in this 280 area. So knowing, you know, if you're going to start a fade in this in 320 after the open or something like that, just know that there's a 40-cent play right there. That's it. I don't think that's enough meat on the bone for me based on how the action was yesterday. So just make sure you're pulling up the charts from yesterday and taking a look and recognizing what was going on. It definitely felt like a fade. It was under VWAP, tested VWAP, failed it again, but it kept soaking up in this level. You could see all day. And I just want to point those type of things out for you guys when you guys are looking to take positions and stuff and you're looking to start a position. Make sure there's enough meat on the bone based on support levels from the prior day. And IGC is just a good example. You know, there was a little bit of a battle going on, whether it's a long, whether it's a short. Both sides could have won and made a little bit, but obviously the longs prevailed in this case. But I want to make sure that you guys see what's going on the day before in the action to put it into your play the next day. I'd rather be a little late on this trade and trade it through 280 for a big fail or something like that than try to make 20 cents and have a perfect trade. It doesn't make sense. It's so hard to do those perfect trades. It's easier to just get the meat in the middle type thing. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I hope you guys have a great day today. I think there's plenty on our watch list, and I will be back at it tomorrow. See you guys all in the room shortly, and let's have a great day. Come check us out over at stocktraders.net, please, guys. I think you'll be really impressed. If you like the little videos I'm doing, please hit the like button, leave some comments. Good, bad, or indifferent, guys. I'm doing this for you. I want to always do it better, make you guys happy, and you know, that's the idea of these things. So that's why I'm putting them out. So anyway, let's have a great day. Come check us out. Like I said, stocktraders.net. You could send myself, Titus, Ricky a message, Monaco. Any of us will be happy to help you guys out and talk you through a couple things. So have a great day, guys. Thanks.